Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of the All Sports Betting Podcast, focusing on the Cricket World Cup 2019. I'm Steve Wyss. I'm joined by Kevin Harper. And the first match of the tournament is upon us. It's England against South Africa at the Oval on Thursday. So, first match approaches. You must be pretty excited, Kev.
Can't wait, Steve. We're in for a fantastic 6 weeks of action. Fantastic that the tournament starts with the tournament hosts on a really good ground. Me and you have both been there. It's a fantastic ground. Usually delivers fantastic cricket. Two great sides. Let's get it on.
Yeah, absolutely. So England against South Africa. For those who haven't listened to our outright tournament preview podcast, then do take a listen. We have in-depth sections on both England and South Africa in those, along with some team bets, which you can get on there. But this podcast is to focus on the match itself on Thursday in its entirety. So, well, the first thing I suppose we should say is the actual ground itself, because every cricket ground is pretty unique, has its own little quirks. The Oval down in London. It's what can you tell us about this ground, Kevin? What are you expecting from the wicket?
Well, in terms of shape and size, I think the name of it says it all, doesn't it? It's an oval. Not like sort of Adelaide where they play the long straight boundaries. This one's probably more the other way around. The longer boundaries are square. Certainly straight down the ground. It's a pretty short hit these days since the OCS stand was built, and they've built a groundsman's shed, haven't they? That Morne Morkel famously disguised for the dressing room in that test match 10 or 15 years ago. Ironically, he now plays for Surrey on this ground, doesn't he? Wicket's usually really, really good. The thing is, the square, well, I say the square, it's not a square, is it? The pitches go all across this from left to right. There's so many practice wickets and club wickets, and, you know, they have a lot of youngsters play there and everything else. That if you hit a ball square, it just races away. So it's a high scoring ground, whether you're hitting down the ground or square at a wicket. Don't see it offering too much turn at this stage of proceedings. I'm pretty sure all the warm-up matches that were here were played on the extremities of the square. I'm pretty sure they've kept the middle one pretty free. Sorry, I haven't played a county championship game here for a while, so should be a flat deck, just how England like it.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that not a single boundary from the centre of the square anyway is more than 70 metres at the Oval. And all the boundaries are pretty similar size. So, like you said, it's the name might suggest it's pretty much an oval. So, yeah, the weather forecast is pretty decent for the game. Looks like the temperatures are going to be in their early 20s, mostly cloudy all day. Not much chance of rain, so we should get a full day's play here down in London. So let's talk about the teams then. England first. We know the squad, but do we know pretty much what this starting 11 is going to be for England in this match, Kev? Are there any injury doubts?
There's one or two been rumoured, isn't there? I mean, is Owen Morgan fit? Everyone says he's going to be. He delivered a beauty of a performance in the warm-up game on Monday, didn't he? Walked out, done the toss, went down the pub, came back and done post-match interviews, didn't bat, didn't bowl, didn't field. That's just the way they like it as a captain. I would imagine he'll be fit. They'll have said by now if he wasn't. Maybe one or two bowlers. There's this talk of Nigo to Adil Rashid's shoulder, but I don't see that being a problem. It's just which seamers they pick, really.
And South Africa, what about the makeup of their team?
Well, Dale Stein's been ruled out of their side for this opening game. I'm not altogether convinced that he will have played every game anyway, but I'm sure they'd have liked him to have begun the tournament. But Kagiso, Rabada and Lungi and Didi would have definitely taken the new ball. They've still got Chris Morris and Dili Feklukweo as seamers, and they're all about, Imran Tahir with the spin, aren't they? So they'll miss Dale Steyn. He's experienced in English conditions, but it's not like he's their strike bowler anymore.
So in terms of the matchup itself then, England are the favourites with the bookmakers. You can get 1.44 on them, which in some quarters it might seem generous. But how do England match up favourably to South Africa, would you say, on a surface like this one?
Oh, yeah. South Africa's batting, I mentioned it the other day, it's not deep enough. I mean, if you look at the best case scenario of their top six, Hashim Amla, Quinton de Kock, Aidan Markram, Faf du Plessis, JP Duminy and David Miller. That's it for batting. There is no more in terms of out-and-out batsmen that can play for them. The rest of them that are coming in after that are all-rounders, whoever they pick. So the batting's generally going to run out at 7. I know Chris Morris can hit a long ball, but as I said the other day, if he's walking in at 30th over, by and large, you've got the job done against them. So England's powerful batting can just go from the start, can't it? And it can keep on going and keep on going. If South Africa lose a couple of early wickets, they're going to have to rein it in a little bit. And, they might get away with that in a few games in this tournament. But as we highlighted the other day, you're going to need 300, 330, 350 on this ground. And I just don't see how South Africa get it unless England are an absolute abomination with the ball. But nothing recently suggests they're going to be that bad.
The toss, it's probably going to be a case of win the toss and bowl first, isn't it, for either side?
I would imagine so, yeah. I mean, there might be the outside chance that that South Africa would bat first, purely because bowling's their weak strength. So if they make a complete arse of batting, they could always get out of trouble with the ball. England definitely win the toss, bowl first. That's going to be their mantra throughout the tournament.
You fancy England to win this game. You've got a couple of bets for the match. And the first one is England to win and also to hit the most sixes. That is 11 to 10 at Betfair Sportsbook. Take us through that one then. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You're not expecting any real surprises in this first matchup.
No, I'm not. No, I just see it as 11 to 10 is a better value way of getting England to win the game than if you took the 4 to 9 on England to win the game, because probably if England played South Africa, I don't know, 20 ODIs in a row, they would hit the most sixes in 18 or 19 of them. They just go about their business a different way. As I highlighted a minute ago, South Africa's batting runs out at 6, so they can't go gun-ho for 50 overs. It's impossible. They don't have many what you would call out-and-out 6 hitters anyway. Quinton de Kock would be one. David Miller would be another. But the others, Hashim Amla, he'd go down in the Alistair Cook mould in terms of lack of sixes, wouldn't he? He's all about hitting it along the floor, stroke playing. And if he bats for a long period, like he so often does in English conditions against England, then they're only really going to be scoring sixes at the other end. And if they lose a couple of wickets either side of that, they're going to have to rein it in because, as I said, they just do not have the batting depth. It's not a problem with England. I would imagine England might see out Kagiso Rabada's spell, but there's more than enough to get stuck into in this bowling attack. There would maybe, with the exception of Joe Root, probably England's top 9 are all genuine 6 hitters. I think they'll hit the most sixes. I think they'll win the game. Don't bother backing them as singles. Combine the two, get 11 to 10. It's a decent price.
Yeah, a good way of basically getting a better price on both markets, really. Where certainly the sixes does seem like a real absolute banker in England, really, unless they mess things totally up. Should be getting the victory here. You've got another bet for the game, and that's in the top bat market for England. A much smaller punt, this one, I may add. Who are you going with?
Ben Stokes, Steve. Yeah, I wouldn't normally go against England's sort of top 3, but if there is a side that's going to exploit it, Kagiso Rabada and Lungi and Geedy have got the pace to do that. So I just wonder that if England's openers do get off to a sticky start, then, doubts about Owen Morgan's finger. Ben Stokes might even bat above him on that premise. He's worth a slight chance. He's got a good record in all formats against South Africa, hasn't he? His highest test score came in Cape Town at 250 odd, where he was bludgeoning probably a better attack than the one that he's going to be up against here to all parts of Newlands. He's been in good form as well, hasn't he? Last couple of ODIs, he's guided England's victory against Pakistan. He's the kind of not talisman of the side anymore, but he's a key player. So if he can get off to a good start in the tournament, it would really help England. I see no reason why he can't do that. Left-handers are generally going to have more sway on this ground. As I mentioned, it definitely cuts in the corner, the entrance where fans go. If anyone's ever been to the Oval underneath that scoreboard, it's a lot easier to hit sixes to the leg side if you're a left-hander, which obviously Stokes is. So I think he ticks an awful lot of boxes. Both England's openers are right-handed. The number 3 is right-handed. There are worse 8 to 1 bets than him.
What number is he going to bat at, Kev, for this game?
Well, at very worst, he'll bat at 6. But, depending on when he comes in, he could come in at 5 if England lose a couple early. And if Morgan is injured, he could even bat 4.
I have to say, I'm not actually going to tip this, but if I was to suggest a bet for this game, it would be in the performance market at Bet365. Long-standing listeners will know I do like a good performance or two, and his line is 45 and a half. You get 1 point per run, 10 points per catch, and 20 points per wicket. I think it's 25 points per stumping if you're involved with keepers. But my concern is that it's such a good batting deck here. He may not get a wicket. So you'd be relying on the points in runs and catches, really. But he's a three-dimensional cricketer, isn't he, in that sort of in the performance market. So you could probably do worse there, couldn't you?
Absolutely. They're the kind of people that I like to take in player performances. You want to be scoring at all times. He's got the potential to do that. Like you say, though, this is a really good batting wicket. So I'll save him for later in terms of that market. But we'll certainly be attacking the performance markets as we go along, that is for sure.
The two umpires for this game are Kumar Dharmasena and Bruce Oxenford. We just go through to the listeners about the review system in the 50-over format of the game. What exactly is the deal there?
One review each. Obviously now, if umpire's call comes up, you keep your review. So it's one, well, for the want of a better word, one shit review each. And that's that, really.
Pretty simple, really. It's nothing. It's obviously different compared to Test cricket in that. How early do you often see the reviews used in one-day internationals, would you say, on average?
Not very early, really. They're usually safe towards the end, maybe for a spinner. Often the worst sort of decisions come off of the spinners, don't they? So I'd imagine South Africa would save theirs for Imran Tahir. England save theirs for Adil Rashid, unless, of course, there's a batsman who's, teeing off and good chance to get rid of him, maybe slow him down with a 5-minute review or whatever.
You're not tipping anything in the South Africa top batsman market, but if you did have to suggest someone, who would you be looking at here? We've got Quinton de Kock as 3-1 favourite, Hashim Amla not too far behind, Markram 4-1, Faf du Plessis 4-1 as well, and then you've got the likes of Miller and Duminy a little bit bigger. Morris at 20-1 down the order there. Is there anyone that you would think could maybe go big for them, who's in good form?
Different format, isn't it? But was it here that Hashim Amla hit his treble century in the Test match?
Was, wasn't it?
So, he's got previous here. Pretty sure he's played well for Nottinghamshire here as well. So hard to look beyond him. He's opening the batting, isn't he? So he's going to get first dibs. Not massive value. We're already on him outright for South Africa batsman, aren't we? So that'll do me. If I was going to look for a top bat in this side going on in the competition, and I'm sure we'll attack him at some point, I'll be looking towards David Miller, but he's far too short in this match.
Right, well, thanks very much for your thoughts on the first match of the competition. Then, Kev, just a reminder to the listeners, you can find us on our YouTube channel now. So please subscribe to that channel. We're also on SoundCloud. And for those who like to listen on Spotify, then that's another platform that we're on, along with the Libsyn format. Of course, you can subscribe to us on iTunes there. And on Twitter, follow us at ASB Pod. So, this is the start of a long stint, probably at least, I think, 30 days in a row, maybe more, where we've got consecutive matches. We'll be back for the Friday's game, which I'm not sure what it is, Kev. Is it to West Indies? I'm not sure. But,
he's going to ask me that. Yeah, Pakistan, West Indies.
Thought as much. We'll be back for that match tomorrow. But from this particular episode, it's goodbye from me. Take care, everyone.
All the best, Steve. Take care.